Hi, I'm Johnny Moran.
I'm Lynn Bader.
And this is What We're Watching. We're really excited about this week's episode of What We're Watching because we have a WNED original production coming up on Friday.
We do?
We do. I think you've seen it before, right? Or you produced it?
I was involved a little bit. It's called Reimagining a Buffalo Landmark. This is a really iconic building. You know, maybe you've driven past it. It's got these two towers. We all know it as the Towers building, and it is the Richardson Olmsted campus. It's a production that, you know, originated here at WNED. The Richardson Olmsted campus, they were great partners in terms of letting us have unprecedented access to the campus.
You know, we posted a teaser for this online, and I've never seen anything that we've posted, besides maybe like a Mr. Rogers promo, get so much buzz. People are really excited about this.
Well, I think here in Western New York, you know, we really hold our architecture dear.
This building specifically, there's so much mystery around it. People drive past it, and it's like something out of a Disney movie. Like it's got this like just towering presence.
Exactly. And so originally, and that's the thing, is this building has like a 150-year history as well. So it was built back in the late 1800s. It was designed by H.H. Richardson, and its first use was as the Buffalo State Asylum for the Insane. And so we wanted to tell, obviously, that bit of history. H.H. Richardson was a really young guy. Nobody really knew who he was. He was doing some work in New York, but he happened to know Frederick Law Olmsted. And, you know, some say that Olmsted actually recommended Richardson for this job. And so he did get the deal, and he actually, this building, or set of buildings really, was the largest commission of his entire career. He wouldn't do anything of this size after this, and it was the biggest thing he'd done before this. We have buildings designed by Wright, we have buildings designed by Sullivan, and we have a building by Richardson. And so we are one of two cities in the entire country, the other is Chicago, that have buildings designed by the Trinity of American architects.
So talk a little bit about the history of this asylum for the insane.
One of the things that I learned throughout this production is that there are myths around, you know, saying that people were treated cruelly in this asylum, when actually its original function was for acute care. So you were diagnosed with something, but it was, you know, it was thought that you would improve and could be healed. And the hospital was set up along what's called the Kirkbride Plan, which really allowed for a lot of outside activity, crafts and meaningful work. There was a full farm, and it was very progressive for its time. I would say that later in its use, overcrowding became an issue, and that was a problem that hospitals had all across the country, not just here in Buffalo. And that, you know, around the 1950s or 60s, you know, they started to really develop medication that could help people with mental illness, and you didn't have to be hospitalized. You could get better at home. The use for the building no longer fit the building.
So what are the main things people are going to take away when they watch this?
I think that probably you might think that this is a show about architecture, and it is. Granted, it is. But we don't spend a whole lot of time or huge amount of detail on the buildings or the architectural style. You learn a little bit about that, but I would say you get to see a rehabilitation and reuse project, a preservation project in this city that is just second to none. And that didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen with one person. It happened with a community of people who were dedicated to preserving a building, didn't quite know how they were going to get there, but they never gave up. And that speaks really to Buffalo.
Another thing that I love about this program is I love seeing member dollars for the station go to something that is so important to the community.
You know, we talk about that a lot. We talk about how it's because of you, and it's because people who are watching and contribute to the station that programs like this can get made, and this is a prime example. So thank you.
Do not miss Reimagining a Buffalo Landmark this Friday at 9 p.m.
And then one more thing. if you've got time, I do want you to check out WNED.org, because we've done a lot of work putting together a great companion website. You know, there's a timeline, there's before and after photos, teachers out there, there's some great lesson plans that you can have access to, and we've done some bonus videos too. So we really wanted to have it be a complete experience for you. So go to WNED.org. You can even check those things out right now in advance of watching the show.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.